Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to another Arc Garage video. Today we're gonna be doing a little Android multimedia upgrade. We're gonna go from 7-inch to 10.1-inch multimedia. So we're gonna go from this right here to this in only couple of hours of work. As you might have already guessed, since I got this aftermarket multimedia installed, I already got the wiring sorted. However, if you are doing this for the very first time, I'm gonna show you how to do the wiring both for the power and also for the steering wheel controls. So the good people from Eonon sent us this double DIN multimedia for free. It has a octa-core processor and 6 gigabytes of RAM. We got the user manual right here. Then in this box, inside this plastic bag, there are a bunch of the cables. I'm gonna go over them real fast. This is gonna be our main connector that I'm gonna hook up to the existing connector in Giulietta. Then we got the external microphone and the slot for the SIM card. I usually don't use the microphone since the one integrated works just fine. Next we got the GPS antenna. Then we got this 4G antenna. We also got our USB cables. There are two of them right there, and we got an additional one. This is the cable that I'm gonna use to hook up the existing camera. This next one is gonna contain our slot for the SIM card as well as the wiring for our amp. Then we got another 4G antenna, and we also got this cable which can be used to hook the head unit to the CAN bus network. And lastly we got these screws. I'm gonna pull the head unit out. So we got the two main components here. This is the 10.1 QLED screen, and this back part is gonna be the head unit. The one thing that separates this one from the rest is this HDMI slot. You can essentially use it to mirror the image from the head unit onto the other screens. For example, inside the head rests for the back passengers. The first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna separate the screen from the main unit. To do that, I'm gonna remove two Phillips screws on the back. I'm gonna remove the plastic cover and undo the connector. To undo connector, you got two clips on each side. Just press them and pull the connector out. I'm gonna remove the fascia. If you want to see how to remove the original one, I'm gonna put a link to that into description. Next, I'm gonna test the main connector. If you already had the head unit installed, you can skip this step. So the key is in the off position. I'm testing for the power. Now these right here are gonna be for our speakers. You can see that there is no power there. At the top we got a couple of wires, but no power there. Now this on the bottom, you can see we got our 12-volt constant wire. Next, I'm gonna put the key into the on position, and I'm looking for my ignition 12-volt wire. So you can see again there's nothing at the bottom besides that 12-volt constant, and there's also nothing in this top connector, which means that I'm gonna need to guide 12-volt ignition wire from the fuse box. Now I'm gonna turn the lights on, and I'm looking for my illumination wire. Again, at the bottom we got nothing, and we also don't have anything on this top connector. Besides the 12 volt ignition wire that I got a guide from the fuse box, I also need my 2 wires for steering wheel controls, and I'm not gonna use the CAN bus decoder. I'm gonna get those 2 wires from the body control module connector. So as I just said, I'm gonna get my steering wheel control wires from the body control module connector, and to do that I will need to remove the body control module. If you want to see the detailed video on how to do that, I'll put the link in the description. This little trick can basically be done on any car, but I'm able to do it on this one thanks to my friend that sent me the wiring diagram, in which it said that the pins number 51 and 38 were in charge of the left and right side steering wheel buttons. You can see that the top and bottom pins are numbered, so you can basically just count to the number that you need. The one thing that I have to warn you about: make sure that you get the wiring diagram for the exact year your car was produced. So I'm gonna count it first. Here you can see that I marked the pin, and I've also marked the pin on the connector itself. So now what I just need to do, I basically need to get to the wires on the back of this connector, which power the pin 51 and 38. So here are our 2 wires. So I'm basically just gonna cut them, and I'm gonna guide these 2 wires all the way to the back of the head unit. Now that I got those 2 wires sorted, I'm gonna test for my 12 volt ignition wire. Now the key is in the off position, and you can see that we got the power on all of these fuses, which means that we won't be able to use any of them. I'm gonna test these in the middle, and you can see that we got power here as well. Now these on the left side don't have any power, which is promising. Now I'm gonna put the key into the on position, and I'm gonna test these fuses on the left side, and you can see that now we got power here. So basically I'm gonna use one of these fuses to get the power to my head unit. Now the best way to do that, in my opinion, is going to be to use the piggyback fuse. So it's basically this thing right here, and it will allow us to get the power to the head unit. So essentially it plugs in into the existing fuse, and you can see that we got 4 slots at the top for 2 fuses. The one fuse is going to be for the original component, and the other fuse is going to be for the head unit. So this is how everything looks. The piggyback fuse is plugged in with the 2 fuses at the bottom. So I'm going to guide another bit thicker blue wire to the head unit, which is going to give me the power when I put the key into the on position. The 3 blue wires that you can see in the background are the wires that I just connected. This thick one is going to be the 12 volt ignition, which I'm going to connect to this red wire. And since we don't have the illumination wire when we turn the lights on, I'm gonna cut it and I'm gonna connect it to the red and blue wire. Next I'm gonna connect these two wires for the steering wheel from our connector to the two thin blue wires that I guided right here. Next I'm gonna hook up my existing camera. This is its connector. The pink wire is gonna be the trigger wire, which lets the head unit know that the car is in reverse. The red wire is gonna be the power wire to our camera, and this yellow connector is gonna be for the video. Now don't get confused here, the trigger wire for the camera is on the main connector, while there's a separate connector for the camera which I'm gonna use to hook up the power wire to the camera, and there's also the yellow connector on it for the video. Now I'm gonna take all of these antennas and I'm gonna place them onto the main dashboard beam. Next I'm gonna mount the head unit. I'm gonna use these metal brackets which are especially made for Giulietta, and I'm gonna play around with it to make sure that I find the right position, and I'm gonna connect all of the cables. To mount the screen, you got these two handles on the back, so you basically just pull on them and put the screen onto the main mount. And here is the final result. I think that this particular multimedia in Giulietta looks great. Another reason for that is going to be this black piano fascia that I bought before. You can see that everything is in black color, and to me personally it gives the impression of that factory look. The bigger screen definitely gives a better appeal to the interior, and it's even more practical since its size directly affects the user experience. I'm gonna hook up the steering wheel controls. I'm gonna go to setup, car, and steering wheel keys. Now I'm gonna press the button for the next song, and I'm gonna select it right here from the list. Now the cool feature on this multimedia is that you got the long hold, so you can select the function, different function, if you hold the key for longer. I'm gonna repeat this same process for the rest of the steering wheel buttons. Now, just to show you some of the basic features of the device, those two handles that I showed you earlier, you can basically use them to slide the screen up and down. Now, one thing that differentiates this device from the rest is that you can actually turn the screen towards you. You can push it left and right, up and down. Alright, so now we're gonna check out the device itself and some of the features and options, but before that let me just give you my impression of the overall quality. Now, even though you can buy some of the similar products online a bit cheaper, this device has a really good hardware that we're gonna check out a bit later. Overall, you can see that everything is nice and sturdy and made from the quality materials. The screen is nice and bright, even though you might not be able to tell that on the camera, since I had to set it up so you can see a bit better. On the outside we got 5 of these buttons, the one for the power, home, back, and the buttons for the volume. Then we got the microphone on the top left corner, as well as the reset button. Now, on the home screen, you got some of the icons for navigation, radio, music, video. If I slide to the right, you can see all of the available apps and things like that. Now, as you might already know, this is essentially as having a tablet or the phone in your car. You got pretty much all of the same options and capabilities. Now, if I hit the radio, I didn't really search for anything yet, but I did test it out a little bit, and the good thing about it is that the names of the stations are displayed right here, so you can pretty much figure out what you want to listen real fast. Now, the music icon here, we got the music player. If you slide to the left, you can see you got all of the songs that are saved onto the device. However, I didn't transfer any yet. You got the USB and you got your favorite songs. Here, if I slide it to the right, all of the list of the songs will be displayed here. This is where the artist artwork can display. Alright, let's check out the navigation. So this is essentially just Google Maps, but I pretty much use only that app. We're gonna check out some of the settings. First, you got the setting for the network and the internet. Then you got the connected devices. Here on the car options, you got the option to enable or disable Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Then we got the LED settings. This helps us to set up the color for these buttons on the left. Now, since everything else in this car is in the red color, I set it up to red as well. But you got some of the presets colors right here as green, blue, red, pink, and so on. And you can actually choose the color to your liking yourself. Now, if I hit back, then we got the steering wheel keys option that I showed you earlier. That's basically what we use to set up all of the buttons on the steering wheel. We got the option for the amplifier. This is basically where you can set up all of the music options. I'm not really the expert on this, but I will play with it a little bit. Then I'm gonna go back again. we got the option for navigation. You got some of the basic options here. Then we got the voice assistant. I'm not really using that. We got driving settings. This is basically just set up if you want to allow the video to be watched while you are driving. Then we got extra settings. You got the setting here to shut down the delay after you turn the key into off position. You got the brightness mode. You can see if I hit a light, it's gonna change, but I like the dark option better. You got a few other options as allowing to play the USB automatically. You got the reversing X mirror, that's basically to reverse the camera image. You also got the reversing volume that essentially lowers the volume when you put the car into the reverse. You also got the options for rulers here, and battery voltage display, which displays the battery voltage in the top right corner. Now if we go to factory settings, I'm gonna hit 1, 2, 6, and okay. You got loads of different options here. Here are some of the main info. Then you got the car logo. I've set up this one for the Alfa Romeo one. Then we got the radio. You can set up the region and things like that. We also got the voice, the CAN bus. So this device basically can support the CAN bus to display like the climate controls and things like that. Then this is, as I understand, for the recalibration of the buttons. Here we got the screen. This is where you can set up different things as brightness and the colors and things like that. Here you also got some of the different options. There's one for the front camera, brightness, steering wheel keys, and similar. I'm gonna go back. Here's the option for the apps. Here's one for the notification, the storage. You can see you got 64 gigabytes in total, while 15 are used right now. I'm gonna go back again. Sound and vibration. So you got basically a key tone. The volumes, this do not disturb, that I don't really know what it is. I'm gonna go back. Okay, here you got the display size and text. So this is where you can increase the font size or decrease it. You also got the display size. It's basically set up to minimum. Here you got the audio screen timeout, brightness level, night display, and I'm gonna go to wallpaper. So basically you can just put different images on the USB. You can transfer it to the device or keep it with the USB plugged in, and you can set up the wallpaper. I don't know if you've seen earlier, I've set up the one with the black Stelvio. This is the security option, privacy, location, and you can see this is just the generic stuff. Let's check out this about section. So this is just the basic info, system, you got the language, date and time, you got the system updates, backup, and that is pretty much it. So that would be it for the settings. Now I'm gonna go over a few of the things right here in the top right corner. So you got the icon for sound. You can basically just hit that and increase or decrease the volume. You can do the same with this little square with the X. If I hit it, you can see that it automatically increases the brightness, and you can use that like you can use the brightness at the maximum during the day, and if you hit it once, you can see that it dims it down for driving at night. Now this is gonna be our apps. Now to close them, I can just slide them up, and we got the back button as well. On the top left corner, we got the home icon, and that's basically what it is. When you wanna display the home menu, basically just hit that. Then if I hold my finger right here in the clear, you can select wallpapers, widgets, and you can drag anything to the home page. You can, as I said before, you can pretty much install any app. The one that comes with the device is this Torque app. I already hooked up my car to it. It's not really my favorite app, but the point is that you can use this app or similar in combination with Eonon Bluetooth to essentially diagnose your car, to check out like the live parameters, to check out if you got any faults and things like that. We also got the for the Netflix YouTube, which is, I don't know how useful that is, but if you want to watch Netflix, you got that option as well. Now if I slide this top menu, we got 6 buttons, one for the internet, Bluetooth, volume, brightness. You can also see all of the notifications here. Also, if I hold this button, I can shut down the screen, and to turn it back on, I'm just gonna tap on it. Another cool feature that I mentioned earlier that the device supports is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I've connected my phone to the device through the Bluetooth. Now I'm gonna hit the icon, and you can see I got my apps here. Now you got the settings here for some of the basic options. And then you got all of your calls and contacts here, and that is basically it. Another very useful feature, but I'm gonna be honest, I rarely use it. Now just to show you how long does it take for the device to boot up, I'm gonna turn the car off. So it takes a couple of seconds to shut off completely, and I'm gonna turn the car on again, and you can see the device boots right up. However, if I keep the car off for a bit longer, it's gonna take longer for the device to boot. In the end, I really love this device. It transformed the feel in the interior of the car, just like the previous device did compared to the factory radio. This one improved overall feel as well. Anyway, that would be all for this video. I really hope you find it useful. If you do, hit that like button and support our channel by subscribing and by sharing our content with the rest of car enthusiasts.